Hi, and welcome to my channel. I wanted to show you what happened with our hard freeze last night. It's Monday afternoon, October 30th. Halloween's tomorrow, yay. But we did get the hard freeze that I was talking about in my last video, although the temperatures got a little lower than was expected. When I got home this morning from work, it was 20 degrees. So the majority of the annuals are completely gone. You can see that with some coleus, some begonias, impatiens, more coleus. The hostas, they can be cut back at any time. But it's kind of complete devastation back here. For if there are any new gardeners out there watching, this video is probably more for you. Anyone who's had a garden for more than a season knows that this happens every year. The annuals just generally don't survive a freeze. Some don't survive a frost. If you live in a more, well, not just warmer climate, then you might be able to carry your annuals through more than a season. I live here in Oklahoma Zone 6B, and we don't have that as a general rule. Ours pretty much die out every year. Occasionally we'll get lucky and something will survive, but you can see the zinnias are gone. But the point I was trying to make is if you're a new gardener and this happens, this is normal. Your garden will look nice one day, and then the next day you'll get up and the majority of it will be gone. I was talking about how pretty this elephant ear looked, and you can see it certainly doesn't look like that anymore. The potato vines are gone. So it's definitely time to start clearing things out. Try to get out of the sun here a little bit. Lamb's ear still looks good. Some things in the garden are evergreen, semi-evergreen, and they'll go ahead and continue to look good most of the winter, but yeah, it's just not too pretty anymore. Now, I could have gone ahead and pulled these annuals out before this happened, knowing that it was going to. I didn't get around to it. But in the next few days, I think 3 or 4 days, it's going to get back up in the 60s and 70s, so that'll be a good time to get these garden beds cleaned out, put them to sleep for the winter. These are the cannas, totally brown now. The lantana, which I mistakenly called lamium in the last video, it's gone. Ageratum, some more zinnias that have gone off. They just got frozen last night, so there's nothing to be done about it but plant again next year. This is that dahlia that had the little white blooms on it that I really, really enjoyed, even though they're on the smaller side. So I'll see if I can do better this year to get them, the tubers, well dug up and survive the winter. I'll have to keep a closer eye on them. I did notice when I was looking around at all the damage this morning that some of my daffodils have started coming up already. In this little bed here by the shed, I planted the spring-loaded daffodils, and they are a variety that is supposed to naturalize. And the only ones I see that have come back so far, which is pretty early for them to come up, is on this side, and it's on the south side of this little bed, whereas I haven't seen any on the north side, and I'm assuming that's just because they were getting a little bit more sun. But hopefully a lot of my bulbs survived in there and I won't have to replant those. But I am thinking about bulbs, and I should have been thinking about them sooner. I'm just not sure where I'm going to go with them. But once I get these beds cleaned out, then I'll kind of have a better idea of where I can plant some. I don't know if I'll do any tulips because I just haven't had very good luck with tulips. Maybe because I put them in pots instead of in the ground. So I may try a few of those in the ground and see if that works any better. But please, if you're a new gardener, don't be disheartened by the look of my garden or your garden if you get a hard freeze. This is just part of the cycle of life for the plant world, which is why it's so exciting when you see all the new growth in the spring, just when everything comes back to life. Not your annuals, of course. You'll have to replant those, which is why our gardens are always changing. Probably shouldn't keep showing you all this dead stuff. Still have some things that are not looking too bad. The grasses there are just glowing with the sunshine. So we still do have things that are pretty in the garden, but some of it's gone. So we just have to move on. And like I said, I plan to get this bed cleaned out, or all these beds cleaned out in the next few days, and just move on from this garden season, start planning for the next garden season. I think that maybe our hard freeze was a little bit earlier than it was last year, but you just never really know for sure. You know, there's a general area, generally of a week or two, where you know that you're probably going to lose your annuals, and so you can kind of plan for that. And you know, if you know a hard freeze is coming, you can get them out before they start looking like this, if you want. That is just not the way I garden, but each of us are different. We have our own ways. Yeah, it's a pretty sad looking plant. There's still some seeds in here. You can, let me get over here. This one here, you can really see it's the black seeds in there, so they're ready to harvest. Some of these that were green that froze already, I'm not real sure about those. I might have to do a little research, but I really probably have more than enough seeds. I just hate to leave free things and let them go, so I may harvest some more of these seeds because I do love cannas. And I would like to put a lot more of those along the fence line for sure, because they do grow up and kind of mask that, I think. And I've been looking and thinking, planning different ways to kind of soften that fence, make it not such a harsh backdrop. The only problem I have with a lot of plants that would do that is that they're kind of invasive, viney, and I don't really want to get that started in my garden. That's why I keep this ivy over here in this little wall planter, because I don't want to turn it loose in my garden. Well, it's beautiful. It's just not something I want to deal with if it gets loose. I would love to have it growing up over all the fences, though, truly, but it's, like I say, just not something I want to fight with every year. So I'm trying to avoid going there. Well, I want to keep this video kind of short. So I think we'll just sign off for now. And please don't despair if your garden looks like this. As I said, it's just part of the gardening world. It's something we have to get used to. It is kind of devastating, and I'm not a crying person, but if I were, I definitely would have cried this morning when I saw this. So enjoy your gardens as long as you can. And until next time, this is Kay with In and Out of the Garden.